Hello everybody, David Traylor of the Traylor Law Firm here, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened last night at a little forum we had for citizens who wanted to discuss the Amber Guyger trial. So this was arranged at the suggestion of one of those citizens who's a friend of an attorney friend of mine. His name is John Creuzot. He's been an attorney for 38 years in Dallas. I think he said 38 yesterday when I was talking to him. Does primarily DWIs, and he's really, really good at it. But yeah, so he arranged a little forum at a kind of a restaurant. Well, it's a wine bar actually. So we had a little room of our own, and there were 5 attorneys, 2 judges, and a former judge who is also our elected DA, John Creuzot. So John Creuzot was there, and 2 judges, a felony judge, Nancy Kennedy, and Audrey Moorhead, who is a county criminal court judge in criminal court number 3. And so it was really nice to have them there to kind of help shed some light on how things are from the bench when it comes to trials like these, but also to have the DA there to talk about how they kind of formulated their strategy. And he didn't go into a lot of detail about the actual things that they talked about, things that they did. He kind of was talking more in the framework of how they allocated. He pretty much let the attorneys do what they needed to do to try this case. He's got some very talented attorneys who were working on this, Jason Hermes and Jason Fine, and they did a great job. If you watched any of the trial, you saw that. But of course, they had strategy meetings with the DA to talk about the things they wanted to try to get in, the approaches they wanted to take, what they wanted to avoid, and also to discuss things that the defense attorneys were wanting to do, and working with them. And trial on a case like this is a collaboration between the 2 sides. It is an adversarial system, but it's not just always butting your head against the other side. There is in fact, it's probably better when you can work together with the other side to make things go more smoothly. And I think that's what they did in most ways. Now, they did have some headbutting on some things, some issues, and there's still some of that yet to come, but we'll have to see what comes with the appeal. But having the DA there to talk about how they kind of approached the case and answer some of the questions that the citizens had was really nice, and it was nice to be able to weigh in and contribute to that. And we saw, if I saw some things that it seemed like one of the people were maybe misunderstanding or not completely getting the point that was trying to be put across, I'd jump in and say, kind of clarify a little bit. So that was fun, and I think the citizens were all very appreciative afterwards. It was also interesting to see, as we know, being attorneys, that there are going to be differing opinions among the attorneys, just like there are differing political views among the attorneys. But even among judges and courts, and even among Supreme Courts, you have differing opinions. That's why you have split authority on cases a lot of times. So the law, as much as it tries to be black line defined, where this is legal, this is illegal, it ends up being that the closer you get to that line, the more you can see that there are gray areas, and then if you have a fact pattern that fits one of those gray areas, then it becomes a close decision where you have to really dive in and give it some thought, and then there's still going to probably be some disagreement among reasonable and very very intelligent, highly experienced people, lawyers, judges, what have you. So some of the questions that the citizens had were predictable, like the murder versus manslaughter thing. And one of the things that Judge Creuzot said that I agree with is he didn't think that the jury should have been charged with trying to decide if manslaughter was going to be something they needed to consider as an option, because the evidence in the case, I think the second Amber Guyger, and this is what Judge Creuzot said, I think the second Amber Guyger got up and said she intended to kill, you no longer have a manslaughter charge, and that should be put to the jury, and the jury charge. The jury charge is the papers that the jury is given They read them, and that is the law that they have to apply to the case. They have to abide by all those laws and apply those laws to the case. So when you have a case where the defendant says, I intended to kill him, you give them a murder charge, because that's what murder is. It's an intentional homicide, taking of human life. I don't think you should give them a manslaughter charge, because they told you they intended to kill him. There's no other evidence. So manslaughter charge, I don't think should be in there, although there's different approaches on how to deal with that. Some judges will put everything in just to be on the safe side, just in case they don't want to get reversed on appeal. And if it's not used, it's not used. It really doesn't hurt in a lot of cases. So sometimes that's the approach that's taken. But there's a lot of interesting discussion, and I think the people were really appreciative. They came up afterwards and were thanking the attorneys and judges that were there. And it was fun. It was nice to clear up misconceptions, discuss some of the viewpoints they had, see what they thought about all that they saw. And then also, I think one of the questions that I think it was John asked this question was, what did you think was going to happen before the trial, and then what was your opinion after seeing the trial? And that was a good question, because my impression of what I expected was totally different before the trial than it was after the trial. Before the trial, I thought it was going to be a not guilty. After the trial, not at all. I thought that there were so many things that maybe went wrong, so to speak, that it just made it a very difficult case to hand down a not guilty on. So, and there were some people who shared that opinion. So anyway, it was a very interesting night, and I'm glad to be a participant in that. And maybe next time we have something like that, y'all can be there. As always, it's not a free country unless it's only a free country if you're not in jail. And I'm going to get somebody out of jail right now. I'm in Carrollton to get some signatures on bonds, and I'm going down to Dallas and then to Duncanville. So I'm kind of crisscrossing the Metroplex a little bit, just like old days. It's kind of fun. I'm a little tired tonight, but that's nothing new. This is the way I used to do these calls all the time, in a state of pretty intense fatigue a lot of times. So, but I enjoy it. So here we are. Everybody take care.